Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. Smooth night, smooth 98.1, love music, love life. It's officially the first day in January 2024 and first edition of a Business Express this year. You know how it goes. We've got a guest. We're talking about everything related to business and money and would love for you to be a part of the conversation. Hint, hint, January. WhatsApp number is 0809 440 You can also tweet at smooth981 and we're streaming live on our YouTube channel as well. So you can catch that live stream. It's up on YouTube, smooth981. And we have a guest joining us this morning.
Joining us this morning is Samson Owolabi, Associate Research and Portfolio Management at Zedcrest Wealth. Good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, good morning and Happy New Year.
That voice seems like it was spent at midnight, doing
the thrones of praise.
Yes, into the church, actually.
I could tell. So, well, while it might be a public holiday, but it seemed like those who strategize even on their weekends or even on public holidays would get the fat worms for the first working week of the year. So let's see. And it looks like what they call AZA or the account. There's a credit there for Nigeria. Let's look at how big this news is. About 2.25 billion US dollars of the 3.3 billion US dollars support facility for Nigeria, courtesy of Afri-Exim and UBA and other partners, has come in. So how do you think this fund would be deployed and to boost the Naira and the economy?
Okay, so thank you for that. Well, concerning this fund, the purpose of the fund actually, as we all know, is just to to boost FX liquidity in the markets. Currently, Nigeria have not been able, the CBN and also the federal government, they have not been able to generate enough revenue to meet the demands of people in terms of FX. So this is one of the major reasons why they have decided to tread this path of getting the loan just to boost liquidity in the markets. And when you realize the fact that the new CBN governor, he has a very strong mandate of clearing backlogs. So these things are the major reason why they are taking the loan. So you just want to have enough liquidity in the markets to be able to cater for the demand for FX. However, in as much as this might be a good one for the Naira, because what we are just going to expect from it is that there's going to be a momentary appreciation on the Naira, because this is just normal economics, the normal forces of demand and supply. Whenever there is enough supply, demand tends to have a little bit of slowdown in the pressure of demand, and this tends to give a kind of a downtrend in prices. So this is what is going to happen. Naira is going to appreciate in value in the short term. However, the major question we need to ask ourselves is that, is this sustainable? Can this go on for a very long time? We've seen what happened last year when we got some inflows into the markets. We saw how the Naira rallied for a little bit of time, and then we are back to the basics now. So this is something that you just have to understand, that in as much as it's a good development, the major question and the major concern is how sustainable is it going to be? How long are we going to see the Naira stay buoyant and stay in the strong side? So those are the major factors that we need to look at.
Well, listening to you, it seemed like there's no cause to really celebrate too much because it's temporary, as the gains may look like, or like a drop in the bucket or a cube of sugar in the lagoon. But talk to us about this money coming in at this time and what Nigeria can do, because you touched on stability now. So let's look at what does the government need to do, or the financial managers need to do, to help stabilize the Naira in 2024.
Okay, so concerning that is a very long discussion. And the major problem we have in this country is that we have a structural issue, and that has been there for a very long time, and we've not really been able to solve it. We have not been able to clear all the matters that have been affecting us for a very long time. And each government that have come into this country, they have tried their best. However, they've not really been able to hit the main point, to just remove that cancer that has been affecting us for a very long time. And when you look at it, you realize the fact that we are not generating enough revenue. in terms of US dollars, in terms of FX. I said US dollars because the US dollar is like the major currency that kind of like show the value of of countries in terms of their FX reserve. When you look at our total capital importation figure for Q3 2023, we had another dip. Although we saw an appreciation in Q2, however, we dipped again in Q3. Total capital importation dipped by 43.5% on a year-on-year basis. It dipped from 1.15 billion to like 654 million US dollars. And what is this just showing you? It's showing us that foreign investors are having this kind of like apathy towards the Nigerian market. And when you look at the causes, insecurity is number one. People don't want to come into a country where they are not secure, or maybe when they can just sleep one day and wake up and be in a particular den, or maybe they can just be 6 feet below. They don't want something like that. And also when you look at the fact that we make a lot of policies, and these are not policies that are consistent. These are policies that, it is just going to change the direction or the trajectory of events in the market. And when you look at stuff like this, it's really, really affecting. We've seen a lot of countries, a lot of international companies exit the Nigerian market, and they are saying something about the FX volatility and how it has been affecting us. So all these factors are major issues that we really need to look at. The way FX affects some of the local guys might be different from the way it affects the foreign investors and foreign institutions, because the FX pressures, whenever the naira is devaluing over time, is a major concern for them. It affects their business. It affects their day-to-day operations, which is one of the major reasons why we see them exit the Nigerian market over time. So we really, really need to work on that. All those structural issues, insecurity, inability to have a stable policy, and also when you look at the fact that we also have, dependence on oil. Any volatility in the oil market, it affects us significantly. And even our oil revenue, we're not really even like making much from it again. We have a lot of debt. Debt is another major issue that is affecting us, which is wiping off every revenue that we have. And we cannot really do much with the small that we are earning. So these are factors that we really, really need to look at.
All right, speaking about oil, it was reported on Friday that the Dangote refinery had received its third shipment of crude. And I'm curious about this. How important is this refinery to the economy of Nigeria?
Well, you see, the refinery is a very important one, and it's something that we've been longing for a very long time. And one of the major things about it is that read in an article in which they stated that Dangote was willing to search for domestic demands before we move to the foreign demands. They want to sell domestic in the domestic market first before they go to the foreign markets. I think this bodes well for the Nigerian economy. And one thing is going to be that if we can produce locally, and we can, make available refined oil for people in this country. One thing it's going to do is, number one, landing costs. We are going to be free from it. It's going to reduce a lot of landing costs for us, and also we are going to have this kind of this kind of let's say autonomy or comparative advantage. The fact that we tend to import, it tends to reduce the value of the naira. However, if we are not importing again and we can produce this locally, we're going to be in a good side. Now, when we now get to the place where we can even produce locally and also export, we are going to be getting FX revenue from that. The government is going to be getting more revenue in terms of tax and some royalties and some other things, given the fact that NNPC also has 20% share in this company. So this is going to be a very good news for the Nigerian economy. However, we still envisage, we still anticipate what we are going to get from that space, because they said that by mid-January they will start producing, refined petroleum, and we can also see the production of gas. So if that can come in, it's going to really, really go a long way in improving the economy.
Thank you for that, Owolabi. You're listening to Business Express on Smooth 98.1. If you've got thoughts, a question, a comment, this is the time to let us know. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. And you can also tweet at Smooth981. We're speaking with Samson Owolabi, who's the Associate Research and Portfolio Manager from Zedcrest Wealth. All right, let's talk about the administration of the president. Are there any quick wins? that the administration has done as we start to get into 2024?
Oh, well, so concerning that, I think the major thing that I know that I can commend this administration for is although the parts in which they tread in terms of implementing it can be somehow like questionable. However, the removal of subsidy is one major thing that I can say that is a very good news for this country. It's something that is something that we've been expecting, we've been waiting for a very long time. In as much as we are seeing the effects, like the impact, we are seeing the negative impact right now, I still believe it's still a good one for the Nigerian economy because subsidy has really, really been draining us. It has really, really been causing significant harm for the country. So that is one thing that I can say that, oh, this government have been able to do like successfully. Although when you look at what they did concerning the unification of the FX system, and when you look at how the naira was being devalued over time, you still realize the fact that the major problem that we needed to solve, which is the fact that the disparity between the official rates and the parallel market rate, we have not really been able to solve that. We still have that wide gap, which is a major concern. So I won't say that is a big win, but for the fact that we can remove subsidy and we still have enough cash to do some other things, that is still like a major one for me.
Okay.
But some persons would argue that with the price of petrol right now, it looks like there isn't any removal or subsidies even back from the back door.
Yeah, well, because that is actually that is actually like a major point that we need to look at. Because when you look at the prices of petrol right now, you realize that there's still an underlying subsidy, like in quotes, underlying subsidy that is going on because we are not really been reflecting what is happening in the concerning the naira to dollar rate and also what is happening in the markets in terms of the oil prices. So that is also one of the major reasons why people believe that there's still one subsidy going on in terms of like maybe the FX part. So in as much as this is there, it's still like quite worrisome. Although I understand the fact that the government is trying to find a way to just make sure that it is the prices of oil and petroleum is not the burden is not too much on the citizens. However, we really need to move forward. We really need to look for other avenues, just to be able to like reduce the prices and also be in a very good place instead of paying that subsidy.
Okay, so in summary, you touched on security issues and how it affects foreign direct investments coming into the country. So I'll let that slide, but let's go through your final three items here. And it's looking at how do you think Nigeria's fight against inflation will pay, in 2024? Link that to your economic outlook for the year.
Okay, so about inflation, what I believe is that we need to like change our tactics. We need to grow and do something different. We can't be hiking interest rates. It's not working. It's not working because you have this kind of inflation that is not coming from the fact that people have a lot of money to spend. It's coming from the fact that the cost of production is increasing significantly. We need to look at that. And what is causing the high cost of production? There is FX, the depreciation naira is a major factor. So we need to look at ways of to just boost that particular space. That's one major thing that we need to look at. And inflation, if we keep on hiking interest rates, thinking that, oh, maybe inflation is going to go down, well, the bad news is that Nigeria is not US. What is working there is not really working for us. So we need to like change and our taxes and find another way of tackling inflation. And also for the 2024, for the outlook, I believe that the first half of the year, we are still going to be seeing much of like recovery. We are going to be seeing more balancing. We're going to be seeing people try to get more stable compared to looking at the kind of policies and the flurry of like policies that we've seen over time. So we are going to see people trying to balance and trying to like adapt to all those policies. That's the major headline that is going to be for 2023. And also we are still going to see the capital market. We are still going to see improved participation in the Nigerian equities market. That's done impressively well in this year. So we're going to see improved participation in the space. We are still going to see some other improved participation in the bond market also.
Thank you very much. I will see a message from Ahmed. Ahmed from Ogudu says, as Dangote Refinery refined any crude oil and sold to the market, the information was that the refinery works on 650,000 barrels per day. Are we expected to see reduction in price of fuel? You briefly touched on that already, but just for the benefit of Ahmed, briefly.
Okay, so well, we need to understand that the Dangote refinery is not going to like be like a boom, like a bank, or something that is just going to like spike things up fast. They have not been able to like, they're still trying to refine petrol, so we are still in that phase. So, however, by the time they start that refining and it's in the markets, it's still going to see like a major thing we are going to see right now is a reduction in landing cost, which is going to show like a little bit of translation, but the particular pace at which they are producing right now cannot really like cater for the needs of Nigerians in as a whole. We're still seeing like maybe 350,000 barrels per day production. So that might not really cater for us right now. But as time goes on, when production is like more consistent and we are seeing improved production over time, that is when we're going to see the impact in the market.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Samson Owolabi, for being on the show this morning from Zedcrest. Well, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you for having me. Happy New Year.